There comes a moment in every life when the air feels heavier, the days feel longer, and the heart whispers that something must change. For you, Cancer, this moment often arrives in the realm of career and purpose. Because your soul was not designed merely to work for survival. Your soul was designed to create meaning, to bring light into the lives of others, to build something lasting like a pearl, forming patiently inside the shell. When you look at your career, you may see it as a ladder. But in truth, it is more like the ocean you were born under. Waves rise, waves fall, and the tides pull you toward new horizons you may not yet understand. The tarot offers us guidance here, and the card that greets us at the threshold of this journey is the Wheel of Fortune. This card is not a warning, but an invitation. It reminds you that nothing in life stays still. The wheel turns, seasons shift, and your career too moves in cycles of growth, challenge, and renewal. Cancer, your nature craves stability, but life asks you to dance with change. It asks you to recognize when a chapter is ending and when a new one is ready to begin. The ancients taught us, the one who understands the times is the true hero. This wisdom has echoed for centuries, and it speaks to you now. Do you feel the tides shifting beneath your feet? Do you sense the quiet call to something more? Something greater than where you stand today? In this journey together, we will explore the lessons of the tarot, the voices of the ancients, and the whispers of your own intuition. We will walk into the heart of your career not just as a job, but as a spiritual path, a canvas for transformation, a stage for your soul's evolution. So take a deep breath. Let go of what you think your career should be, and open yourself to what it could become. Because, dear Cancer, this is not only about earning a living, it is about stepping into your destiny. And the wheel has already begun to turn. Cancer, imagine standing on the shore at dawn. The tide pulls back, then surges forward again. This is how your career moves, never in a straight line, but in waves, cycles, and turning points. The Wheel of Fortune whispers, there is a time to plant, a time to wait, and a time to harvest. If you look closely, you may realize that you are no longer in the same season you once were. The strategies that once worked may now feel empty. The environment that once supported you may now feel too small. This is not failure. It is transition. It is the wheel turning, carrying you toward the next chapter of your growth. Cancer, you are deeply intuitive. Your spirit knows when it's time to let go, even if your mind resists. Have you felt restless lately? Have you wondered if your talents are being wasted, or if there is more waiting for you beyond the walls of comfort? These feelings are not random. They are signs that the cycle has shifted. The ancients said, change is the only constant, and wisdom is the art of moving with it. To resist the turning wheel is to stay trapped in stagnation. But to move with it, to embrace it, is to open doors that lead to transformation. Your career is not a cage. It is a journey, a flowing river that can carry you to unimagined destinations. But first, you must admit that the river is moving, that the tide has changed. So ask yourself now, gently and honestly, what feels heavy? What feels outdated? What parts of your work no longer give life to your soul? And just as important, what sparks curiosity in you? What dreams keep resurfacing no matter how often you push them aside? These are the whispers of destiny, the compass guiding you through the turning of the wheel. Do not fear it, Cancer, because this change is not here to break you. It is here to set you free. Cancer, let's pause here, because even when the wheel turns, even when your intuition whispers, there is something inside that pulls you back. Fear, it is natural. You have built safety, you have created routines, you have poured your heart into a path that once felt right. To change direction now feels like betraying all the effort you've already invested. And yet, to stay the same feels like betraying yourself. This is the tension every soul faces when standing at the edge of transformation. The ancients called it the dark night of the spirit, that place where the familiar crumbles and the unknown stretches wide before you like a vast ocean. You may fear drowning. You may fear being lost. You may fear that if you step forward, you will fail. But here is the truth, Cancer. Fear does not mean stop. Fear often means you are standing at the doorway of expansion. Your heart races because it knows this moment is sacred, because what waits on the other side is bigger than what you've known. Think of the caterpillar. It does not resist the cocoon. Though the darkness feels suffocating, it surrenders, trusting that the transformation is coded deep within. And soon, wings emerge. Flight begins. Your career, your work, your soul mission. They are asking you to enter that cocoon now. Yes, it is uncomfortable. Yes, it feels uncertain. But growth always carries the flavor of fear because it pulls you out of the safe harbor and pushes you toward the vast, untamed sea. Cancer. Your sensitivity is your gift. It means you feel the fear deeply, but it also means you can sense the guidance hidden beneath it. Every fear is a teacher. It says, look closer, step carefully, but do not stop. So, honor the fear, listen to it, but do not mistake it for truth. The truth is that you are capable of more than you've allowed yourself to believe. The truth is that the cocoon is only temporary. The wings are already forming. Cancer, throughout history, those who walked before us left wisdom carved in stone, written in scrolls, whispered in stories. And if you listen closely, these lessons still breathe in your journey today. The great philosopher Confucius once said, "Choose a job you love, and you will never have to work a day in your life." It is not about escaping effort, but about aligning your heart with your hands. When your work flows from your essence, effort becomes devotion, and struggle becomes sacred growth. The Stoics, too, offered guidance. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, "At dawn, when you wake, remember, you rise to do the work of a human being." He saw work not as a burden, but as a calling, a way to honor existence itself by giving your energy to something larger than your own comfort. Even the Taoists taught that true mastery is found in harmony. They spoke of the Wu Wei, the effortless action, that sweet spot where you stop forcing and instead allow your work to flow like water finding its path. Not passive, not lazy, but deeply aligned with the currents of life itself. These lessons are not distant echoes. They are invitations for you, here, now, to see your career not just as a means of survival, but as a spiritual practice, a field where your soul learns patience, courage, creativity, and resilience. Cancer, you are not just working for a paycheck. You are working for growth, for self-discovery, for the quiet joy of knowing you poured your heart into something that matters. The ancients understood that transformation begins not in the outer world, but in the inner attitude. Change the way you see your work, and your work will begin to change you. See it as a punishment, and it will drain you. See it as a path, and it will elevate you. So ask yourself now, what lesson is your work teaching you today? Patience, perseverance, humility, or the courage to leave and build anew? Every lesson, no matter how hard, is shaping you into the soul you are destined to become. Cancer, your soul has always craved safety. It is written in your essence, the need for a home, a sanctuary, a steady place where you can rest your heart. And in your career, this longing for security often guides your choices. You may seek the stable job, the reliable income, the routine that gives you a sense of control. And there is nothing wrong with that. Security is not weakness. It is the soil from which growth begins. But here is the paradox. If you cling too tightly to safety, you may never step into your full potential. The cocoon may feel warm, but the butterfly cannot remain there forever. The ancients knew this tension well. They taught that life must be lived in rhythm, a dance between holding and releasing, between building roots and spreading wings. The farmer tills the earth to plant seeds, but he also trusts the sky to bring rain. There is work and there is surrender. Both are necessary. In your career, the same law applies. Security keeps you grounded, but growth keeps you alive. If you stay too long in comfort, your spirit begins to wither. If you leap without grounding, your path may scatter before it takes root. So how do you balance the two? By honoring both. By creating stability in your life that allows you to take bold steps forward. By saving while also investing. By holding on to what nourishes you and letting go of what only keeps you small. Cancer, your heart already knows this dance. You have felt the pull of safety, and you have felt the hunger for more. Now is the moment to weave them together. Build a foundation strong enough to stand on, but never so rigid that it cages your spirit. Because security without growth becomes stagnation, and growth without security becomes chaos. But when the two meet, when your roots are deep and your wings are wide, that is when your career and your soul both rise toward the light. Cancer, let us speak honestly. Not every step in your career feels like triumph. There are moments when doors close, when projects collapse, when the effort you poured your heart into seems to vanish without reward. It hurts. And in those moments, it is easy to believe you have failed. But failure is never the end. It is a teacher in disguise. The ancients knew this well. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." He saw setbacks not as punishments, but as opportunities to sharpen courage, patience, and clarity. Think of the blacksmith. Steel becomes strong not by resting, but by being placed into fire, hammered, and cooled. Each trial tempers it. Each blow shapes it. And in the same way, your career setbacks are shaping you into someone unbreakable. Cancer, your sensitivity makes you feel these disappointments deeply. You might replay them in your mind, asking what you could have done differently, blaming yourself for things beyond your control. But what if you shifted the question? Not, why did this happen to me? But what is this here to teach me? Every lost opportunity carries a hidden lesson. Perhaps patience, perhaps resilience, perhaps the courage to change course. Even heartbreak in your work is a compass, pointing you toward a higher truth. And let us remember, the lotus only blooms in muddy water. The greatest beauty often rises from the deepest struggle. So too with your path. The setbacks you face are not walls, but doorways disguised as obstacles. So the next time you stumble, Cancer, do not see yourself as broken. See yourself as being refined. The universe is not pushing you down. It is molding you, sculpting you, preparing you for the greatness you cannot yet see. And when the time comes, you will look back and realize every failure was secretly a hand guiding you closer to the life, the work, and the destiny meant for you. Cancer, there comes a time when life whispers, what once worked for you no longer serves you. And though it may frighten you, this is not a punishment. It is an invitation to reinvent yourself. You are a sign ruled by the moon, forever shifting, forever cycling through phases of light and shadow. Just as the moon renews itself each month, so too are you called to begin again, to shed the skin of what is old, and step into a truer version of yourself. The Stoics would say, do not cling to what is gone. Adapt, transform, flow with reason and nature. They believed the greatest strength was not in resisting change, but in embracing it with open hands. And Cancer, within you is this hidden courage, the courage to grow, to reinvent, to redefine what success truly means for your soul. Perhaps you have been following a path because it was safe. Perhaps you have stayed in roles that others expected of you, even when your spirit whispered for something different. Reinvention requires honesty. It asks you to look in the mirror and say, this is who I have been, but it is not all that I can be. Yes, it feels risky. Yes, it feels uncertain. But think of the caterpillar entering its cocoon, not knowing if it will survive the darkness, only to emerge as something radiant, something winged, something free. Cancer, this is your cocoon moment. This is the season to trust the unseen work happening within you. Reinvention is not about discarding who you were. It is about gathering every lesson, every scar, every dream, and weaving them into a new form that carries you closer to your destiny. So take a breath, place a hand on your heart, and remind yourself, I am not trapped by who I was yesterday. I am free to become who I am meant to be today. This courage to reinvent is your quiet superpower. It will carry you through storms, through endings, through all the phases of your journey. And when you rise, others will look at you and whisper, how did they become so strong, so graceful, so luminos? The answer, Cancer, is that you dared to begin again. Cancer, let us speak now of resilience. Not the kind that looks like steel or stone, but the quiet resilience that bends like bamboo, that sways with the storm yet never breaks. Life will test you. It will hand you delays, disappointments, and moments where everything feels uncertain. But resilience is not about pretending those struggles do not exist. It is about breathing through them, about trusting that you will not only survive, but rise stronger on the other side. The ancients often said, "The obstacle is the way." Every challenge you face is not a wall meant to trap you. It is a teacher, a lesson disguised in difficulty, a chance to discover just how much power you carry within. Think of the waves, Cancer. They crash against the shore, again and again, yet the ocean never grows tired. It adapts. It reshapes the land over time. This is the kind of resilience you are being asked to embody. Not to resist the storm, but to dance with it. Not to harden your heart, but to keep it open, even when the winds howl loud. In your career, in your calling, there will be seasons of doubt. Moments where the world seems blind to your effort. But resilience whispers, keep going. Your work is not in vain. Your roots are deep, and the fruit will come in time. Let yourself rest when needed. Let yourself feel what hurts. For resilience is not about never falling. It is about rising again, each time with more wisdom, each time with more grace. You are not fragile, Cancer. You are water, and water always finds a way. Through stone, through valleys, through the cracks no one else can see. That is your strength. That is your gift. So the next time you feel the weight of challenge pressing down, lift your eyes to the horizon and remember, you are not defined by the storm. You are defined by the way you return to the light. And in that resilience, you become unshakable. Not because life never touched you, but because you learned how to rise again and again, beautifully, powerfully, endlessly. Cancer, let us journey now into wisdom. Not the kind you read in books, but the kind etched into your soul through every trial, every tear, every small victory. The ancient sages believed that wisdom was not given overnight. It was carved slowly, like rivers shaping mountains, like stars guiding sailors across endless seas. And you too are being shaped by time, by experience, by the way your heart chooses compassion, even when it would be easier to turn cold. Inner wisdom is quiet. It does not shout. It whispers in the stillness, guiding your choices with a light touch. When you stand at a crossroads in your career, when you wonder whether to hold on or to let go, it is this wisdom that whispers, choose the path that nourishes your soul, not just the one that pleases the world. You have walked through storms, and because of that, you carry a lantern inside you. A lantern lit not by easy days, but by nights where you had to keep faith alive, even when everything seemed dark. That lantern is your wisdom. And one day, others will walk by your light. The legacy of inner wisdom is not about titles, not about wealth, not about applause. It is about leaving behind the kind of energy that teaches others how to live with courage, with tenderness, with truth. Think of those who came before, the ancient teachers, the quiet poets, the leaders who ruled not with fear but with understanding. They remind us that the most enduring power is not force, but wisdom. And this is the inheritance you are shaping now, Cancer. So do not underestimate the value of your journey. The way you rise from hardship, the way you extend kindness, the way you choose integrity when shortcuts tempt you, all of it is being woven into your legacy. When you step back and look at your life, may you see not just success in the world's eyes, but the deeper triumph of a soul that stayed true, a heart that learned to love, a spirit that carried wisdom like water, flowing, cleansing, eternal. That, Cancer, is the legacy of inner wisdom, and it will live far beyond you, a quiet gift to every soul you touch. And so, Cancer, we arrive at the heart of this journey. The destination you seek is not in the applause of others, not in the fleeting shimmer of achievement, but in the quiet fullness of your own spirit. Fulfillment is not about reaching a single peak. It is about walking a path where each step feels aligned, where the rhythm of your heart matches the rhythm of your work, your relationships, your dreams. It is about looking in the mirror and knowing you did not betray yourself to climb higher. You remain true, even when the road asks for sacrifice. Think of fulfillment as a garden. Every choice, every effort, is a seed planted in the soil of your soul. Some seed bloom quickly, Others take years beneath the earth. But all of them, in time, create a field of beauty that reflects who you truly are. The ancients often spoke of harmony, not as the absence of struggle, but as the balance between effort and surrender. You cannot control every tide, but you can choose how you sail. And when you sail with integrity, with courage, with love, the winds eventually carry you to shores of peace. Fulfillment comes when you see your work, not just as labor, but as contribution, when you know your voice matters, your presence heals, your journey inspires. Even if the world does not always see, the universe does. And more importantly, your own soul feels it. So take this moment to breathe. Look at how far you've come, the storms you have survived, the walls you have climbed, the bridges you have built from nothing but hope. This is fulfillment already unfolding. And as you step forward, may you remember, fulfillment is not at the end of the road. It is with you in every sunrise you greet with gratitude, in every night you rest, knowing you gave your best, in every connection where love was shared, and in every lesson that brought you closer to the truth of who you are. This is your journey, Cancer. A journey toward fulfillment, not as a final chapter, but as a living, breathing song, sung each day, in harmony with the soul you are becoming.